Welcome back. What do we make of the chip rally? This is Apjit Walia. He's a semiconductor analyst at RBC Capital Markets. Apjit, thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Yeah, what do we make of this rally? You know, Intel, there's a downgrade today from a CSFB analyst. AMAT, the numbers didn't look particularly good. Chip stocks sort of sold off on that. What do you think?
Well, we've had a rally the last couple of months. Primarily, you can call it many things. You can call it an alpha chase, a beta chase, a seasonal trade. But frankly, in August of 2004, we started to see equipment bookings growth peak and started to decline after that. We've had equipment bookings growth go from 130% in August, and the number was announced last night for the month of October. It's gone to 60%. So you had a lot of sharp cuts in capacity, which is a very positive indication for semi-stocks. Also, you started to see a lot of sentiment, which is very negative going into August from the buy side and the sell side. And lastly, of course, valuations were quite compelling. So you had the supply, valuation sentiment, all three poised for a perfect rally. Demand still a question mark, but most people are betting that middle of 2005, demand will come back. And the way these stocks have started trading like cyclicals, they're trading 6 to 9 months ahead of the bottom of the cycle. And if you believe in that, these stocks have a long way to go.
All right, Apjit, one of the things that struck me was that you came out with a pressing call on Intel stock I own personally. Wish I actually been able to sell some, but I was heartened by the way that you said that November could be good, but then discouraged by the way that you said next year could be bad. Are we too granular, or is Intel a trade into year end and then a sale?
Well, it's hard to really predict the trade itself, but I'm just reporting what I see from my checks in Asia. November was very strong. Notebooks and servers very strong at IBM, and you also see flash being flat. Desktop still a bit of a weakness, but the Ethernet, gigabyte Ethernet business is very strong for November. Seeing the same numbers internally for December coming through, so that's a pretty strong forecast. I think 9.2 billion, eventually the number I have will be beaten, which
wow.
I'm a street high.
Stock goes higher if that's the case.
Well, the problem is not top line, it's the margins. I still think there's shipping still a lot of low-end stuff, and not the high-end.
58?
Yeah, so no, I think lower than that. So going into next year, I still think 05 will be softer than people think. 05 might be below 04 in terms of top line. So you'll see some seasonal strength. I think analog devices just came out. Similarly, seeing seasonal strength going into the end of the year. But as you go into 05, the weakness in end demand will start to seep through in
so
the
your
stocks.
05 number on Intel is for flat over 04, right?
I'm at 99 cents for a year, and I'm pretty conservative. I think that might even be pretty aggressive as we go into.
Can you talk a little bit about analog devices, because that just occurred, and we like Joe Fishman very much. What is he saying about? I mean, a lot of his stuff goes into the consumer electronics world. What's he saying about demand?
Well, actually, Jerry has a pretty bullish call. I mean, the numbers were not as good, but the call is good. They believe that they will start seeing growth in their second quarter, which is their April quarter, and they will start seeing recovery come through and marginals go back up because they just came back from Asia, and they're seeing end demand will come back through. They're actually building inventory for that. So it's a very, very positive call from them.
And well, I mean, how much of Intel especially, or how much are we talking here about just the old PC growth and what we're expecting in terms of that?
Well, this is typically end of the year PC seasonality, which we're seeing from Intel. And that's why I'm not too excited about the stock long term. I mean, there's Intel still out, and I'm a long-term Intel bear because of Intel's exposure. You know, I believe, I mean, as recently as a month ago, they were approached by a big fabless semiconductor company asking them if they want to be their foundry, which tells you where Intel is headed. People looking at them as a big fab, which has a lot of capacity, leading edge capacity with not much to do with.
Anyone that I can just own right now and not have to worry for between now and, say, the next 6 months?
Linear Technologies.
Really?
I still think Linear is a long-term secular play. Despite the downturn coming or not coming, Linear will continue to be a good company.
Smart company. Okay, that's Apjit Walia, semiconductor analyst, RBC Capital Markets, again, who has been uncanny in his calls on both the group and on Intel. Thanks, you, sir.